Yiddish as it existed in Warsaw before the Second World War, or as it existed in the Wexler in Paris, or even here, though many, many decades earlier, just isn't going to come back that way. In order for that to happen, you have to have the grocer and the butcher and the baker and all the various things all be Jewish and Yiddish speaking. And you do have pockets of that among the Orthodoxy. It's hardly going to survive as a means of communication in the everyday sense of the word. There are obviously fewer and fewer books being published in Yiddish. Fewer and fewer people who speak it. More and more of the speakers being on the older end of the spectrum and dying out. Every so often you get this very glowing, optimistic sound of the horn that, hey, they're teaching Yiddish at such and such university. Yes. And then when you stop to ask these people, did you go to college? Yes. Did you take a foreign language? Yes. What did you take? French. Do you speak French? No. Do you read French? No. Do you understand French? Un peu. Meaning that when I get to Paris, I can kind of look up and I see a word like sortie, and I say, oh, there's the exit. But that's hardly, I mean, French would not survive if it was based on or dependent on the American student learning French in high school or college for that matter. And one of the things that's come up, and Herschel, I think, was the first one to spell it out for us, was that Yiddish is going to switch places, if it hasn't already, with Hebrew. That Hebrew, as a language of everyday intercourse, is obviously thriving in Israel. And with Israelis moving to other parts of the world, like returning to the United States and so on, we've got pockets of Hebrew-speaking people here in LA, and schools and so on. So Hebrew becomes the everyday language of discourse, and Yiddish is the language around which dissertations are being published.